right. When I first started in metaphysics, there was a woman who shared with me, I don't know if it was her personal affirmation, but it became very well known. Everything I give to God has claw marks on it. Meaning it's difficult for us to let go, in case you missed that. All right. I thought I was going to go over 3 levels of consciousness with this one, and they have asked me just to remain on 1 because I think it's very important. And so, when I was in my preparation and I was talking to Spirit, this is what was said. And they said, write it down. There is only love, all else is an illusion. There is only love, all else is an illusion. So, here we are, beginning our month of October, having gone through a fabulous month of September, letting things go, releasing stuff, changing our world, opening to new possibilities, and we've been doing fabulous as we went over last week. Everybody's moving, yes?
Yes.
Okay, as you do that, have you noticed that emotions are now rising within you that you really had forgotten about?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. As we create space for movement in our outer world, our body comes into alignment, and oftentimes, pretty much always, emotions that have been held in our world now start coming to the surface for us to be aware of them. Doesn't mean you have to heal them, just be aware of them. And sometimes these energies may feel like you're stuck, but the reality is the universe is showing you where you have invested your energy. All of these emotional bubbles that are coming up within you are showing you where your energy has been invested. Yay!
Yay!
Awesome, huh?
Bad investment.
Yeah. Some of our investments yield greater returns than others. So, all right. If I can borrow someone's, I've lost my, you just hand me your sheet. There we go, thank you. Our affirmation for the month is, I free up my energy investments to fulfill my life journey. I free up my energy investments to fulfill my life journey. Now, your life is fine exactly where it is right now, okay? Right?
Yeah. Right.
No one's going to say you've made bad investments. You invested, and you are where you are today. But as we go through this month of now, we're in great movement, we can really have an opportunity to look at where our energy is. Say, I'm ready.
I'm ready.
All right.
Let's do it.
All right. These old energies that bubble up can feel very uncomfortable. Emotional positions or attachments can actually be formed without logic. Are you aware of that?
Oh, yes.
Okay, so you could in any moment in time have an experience that you emotionally respond to, and you don't like it, or you attach to it, or something, and that energy can get locked in your body, your mind, without logic. You know, have you ever dealt with children, and they decide they don't like something? Can you explain to them why they should change their minds? Not really, because they don't care. That's how our emotional body works. It responds energetically to something and locks down. All right. The more light and freedom you have within and bring into your consciousness, the more it displaces the heavier, darker energy revealing these investments. Okay, and we all have them because we're all human. And just think about any of you who had to feed a child or raise a child, and you were feeding that child, any child you had to feed, and they did not want to eat what you were giving them. It doesn't matter if they're tiny or they're big enough to verbalize, and they tell you, I'm not eating that. And you say, oh, come on, take one bite. And they say, oh, no, I'm not going to eat it. They invest more energy in resisting you than it would take in tasting one bite. Stick it to your tongue. See if you've changed your mind. They will dig in and hold that investment so long that you eventually, as a parent, give up. Do you realize that you do that? That you invest your energy so long in maintaining what you think you don't like or maintaining where you want to be that you forget to even taste it again to see if it works for you now? How many of your, How many of your food pleasures have changed over time. Where you realize as you age, you eat things you couldn't eat as a child. What if you never tried that food? What if you still had that childish dig in? Would you grow? No. Well, we're talking about things now, examples that you can understand, but let's take that to the deeper level of the emotional body. All right. Most of the bottled energy comes from judgment. We've decided something is not according to what we want. And when you judge something, as an adult, you can justify it. It may not be logical, but you can justify it. And if I say, I think you're judging that. If I say, I think you're judging that, you will spend an hour telling me why I'm wrong. And you may be, in fact, judging it, but you have a reason. And it may not be logical at all. It may be simply based on a reaction that you had as a child. We are so invested in our justification. Yes?
Yes.
Are we having fun yet?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Remember, there is only love and all else is an illusion. We literally hold energy into place by judgment, and it no longer feels like love. We are now giving life to the illusion. We are now giving life to the illusion. I wanted to share with you a scripture. This is in Luke, this is 7:47. This is a story. Jesus had gone to someone's home, and culturally you have to understand their culture was different than our culture. They walked in sandaled feet. They used oil to keep their hair and their head fresh, and they needed to cleanse their feet. They would go in and if you were really taking care of your guests, you would wash their feet. Do you understand? So Jesus goes to this party, this gathering, and there is a woman that comes in, and the woman, who is not of a good reputable state of consciousness, but she comes into the gathering where all manner of people are, and she anoints his head with oil, and she washes his feet. And she kisses his feet, and she adores him while she's honoring him as teacher, as master, and just honoring him with her love. The host mentions this to Jesus, and Jesus says, "Do you see the woman? When I entered your house, you did not even give me water for my feet, but she has wet my feet with her tears and wiped them with her hair. You did not kiss me, but she, since she entered, has not ceased to kiss my feet. You did not anoint my head with oil, but she has anointed my feet with perfume. For this reason I say unto you, her sins are forgiven because she loved much. But he to whom little is forgiven loves little." Do you hear the correlation? Love allows forgiveness. It's not about a big thing of, I'm going to forgive you now because you have rectified your error to me. I judge you, Michael, for having done something to me. Now you must make amends and I shall forgive you for that. No. Forgiveness can only occur when we release the judgment, and you release the judgment through love. This is too complicated. Simple, simple love. If I can love, then I am holding no judgment. I cannot hold judgment and love. If I love, I hold no judgment. Do you realize that if you judge anybody, you're going to judge everybody? There is no exception to the rule. I always want to be the exception to the rule. You're going to love me, but you're going to hate everybody else. That's fine. Just love me. I'm never the exception to the rule. In counseling, if you come to me and say, "I love you, Cindy, I hate everybody else," I can guarantee the day will come when you will hate me because you hate everybody else. There's no exception. As you are in your behavior, you will levy that against everyone. When you love, when you take that love in, it allows you to move into what is real and lets you diminish what is the illusion. Judgment. Forgiven. What is forgiven but releasing of the energy that's been bound? Forgiven. I'm forgiving you, I'm forgiving me. I'm releasing the bound energy so it can flow in love. See, I get it. All right. Okay. Love is real. When love is allowed to enter the spaces of trapped energy, you become free. Jesus' platform when he taught was always, God is your father and mother, God is within you, you are a child of God, God is love, and forgive. And forgive. Just like I said, when you judge, you block energy. So, he said, stop judging. And you will say to me, but things really are the way they are, Cindy. Are they? Are they really the way they are? Or are they an illusion? Are they really the way they are? Or is it just a game that's being played? And at the highest level you can find love. Okay. When you judge someone, you do not let them grow. Do you realize that? How many judge parents or spouses or anybody, siblings? Oh, I got a parent over there from my son. You know, when I do the seminary class is 5 years long. And I'm involved in certain aspects of it, even in the early stages in certain classes, not the basic class. And I watch these, everybody who comes to seminary is so sweet. They're gentle, they're open, they don't want to judge, they want to do everything beautifully. They're humble. They're so enamored with what they're being taught. And then I watch them over the years, and then they become louder and more boisterous because now they need to use their energy. Now they're becoming demonstrative. Now they're growing into their Christhood. And I watch them. And I watch the little trickles and little falls they make, and they pick themselves up. What if I expected them to be a simple, humble, enamored child the rest of their lives? Would they ever grow to be a minister? No. No. They would never grow to be a minister. We are all in the process of growing. Anyone that you've judged, you're holding to a space that cannot grow. Anyone who knew me 10 years ago does not know me today. You don't know me today. Why, you ask? Because I'm fabulous. Most of the time. Sometimes I'm not, but most of the time. It's an illusion when I'm not. Thank you.
Good job, Patrick.
Good job. Anytime you judge someone, you're building a wall. A wall, you judge a person, a place, or a thing. Anytime you dismiss people, you're building a wall. You're judging. And think about how many people you're holding in this bubble of judgment. Just for a minute, do you realize how many people you've got in that judgment bubble? Old employee, anything, could be anything. When you have this, do you really have enough energy to move forward? At the highest level, we are all brothers and sisters. Everyone that you're judging is your brother and your sister. At the highest level, there is only love. That's the truth. At the highest level. The energy you use to judge them could be used to invest in your new home, your new experience, the desires of your life. Do you realize that? Okay. This woman in the Bible was forgiven because she was loved. Metaphysically, we call forgiveness forgiving. You're giving forth something. You're giving forth love. When you take the energy that you have held and love them and free them, you get to move. And you know what else happens? They feel it. The minute you release someone from the judgment that you have against them, they feel it. And if they need to be upset with you still, if they are not ready to let you go, they will find somebody else to take your place. They will find somebody else to get into that judgment relationship with. But you are free. There's no karma, there's no debt, because you moved from the illusion into love. I love you, I free you, I may not understand what happened, but I don't want to hold you in my field any longer. I want to let you go. I don't want to even remember you don't like me. I won't let you go. Because I know at the highest level, you're going to be giving me a big old hug and kiss. Because at the highest level, we're brothers and sisters. Sound easy? Okay. All right. Peter asked, I'm going to read you Peter because it's a really famous quote. Does anybody know what I'm going to read? Peter asked, I get some nods here. Lord, Lord, if my brother is at fault with me, how many times should I forgive him? Seriously, they are bothering me. How many times should I forgive him? And I remember my famous moment many years ago when I was so mad at Patrick. It was many years ago, we were babies. So mad at Patrick, and he came in and said something. I twirled on him, and I said, do not make me forgive you again. So I just forgiven him. Don't make me do it again. So. Oh, he hasn't. Love is the only thing that's real. Okay, you know what Jesus said. Jesus said unto him, I do not say to you up to 7 times, because he'd be counting 1, 2, 3. Okay, you're almost there. You're going to get it. I'm not going to forgive you. So he says, I say unto you, up to 7, not up to 7 times, but up to 70 times 77 times. Up to 70 times 77 times, which means forever. That means eternity. Forgive forever. No one can bother you that much. Forgive forever. And truly, truly, if they are bothering you that much, if you can truly, truly forgive them, they will find someone else to bother. They bother you, so you judge them. It's part of a game. They bother you, so you're important to them. Do you realize that when someone judges you, you are important to them? You're important to them. When you judge them, they're important to you. Free them. Let them be important to God. Forgive, 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 forgive. Give forth good. Give forth love. Forgive. Forever. There is no limit to it. That is one of the most important things a metaphysical Christian can do. We work on ourselves, we work on ourselves, we work on ourselves, we're manifesting, we're trying to heal. Yeah, we judge. I'm trying to manifest here. No. I'm manifesting. No, stop. I'm manifesting. Do you know? We get so into focusing and trying to move that we are snippy and judgmental of things that get in our way. You're not supposed to be in my way. Instead of, oh, you're in my way. How are you? Maybe we need to have an energy exchange. Maybe I need to love you for a moment before I go back to what I am doing. Am I the only one that does this? Okay. I have a yes. Okay. All right. You know when Jesus said, give us this day our daily bread in the Lord's Prayer, he said, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. Forgive us as we forgive. When we hold judgments against others, do you not think we are being judged? We're drawing the same energy. If we can forgive others, we can forgive ourselves. We can forgive ourselves. Okay. All right. Judge not, lest ye be judged. That's in Luke. It's all over the place. Love your enemies. That's in Matthew. Why live in the illusion? Why live in the illusion? And it really means lifting up and walking into a state of love. So I have a wee story for you. I could read in the big book for a long time, but this was a good moment for me. This was one of my thank you God moments when I came to see myself actually living what I want to. And it happened just a couple of months ago. It's a very small story. A couple of months ago, Patrick and I had stopped at the grocery store. The grocery store's right by our house. We kind of just will drop by and pick up what we need, and a quick trip. That particular day, we were exhausted. We were both so very tired. And we went into the grocery store, and I go get what I need, he gets what he needs, and then we will literally lose each other in the Kroger. But we were shopping, and then I will always meet right in front of the checkouts. And that day, I was picking up a few things, and I went to the opening in front of the checkouts, and Patrick was way down the store, but I could see him. He was way down the store. And he looked at me, and he went, "Hurry up!" I died laughing. I laughed so hard and so loud. I thought that was hysterical. And the first thought in my mind was, "You really think you can make me move faster? What's wrong with you?" And then I thought, this is hysterical. You're just tired. I know what he was saying. I'm tired, I want to go home. That's all he was saying, But it was just, and I laughed so loud, the whole store went, "Why is she laughing?" Because he's way down the store from me. But it was a moment of clarity. And then what happened was I illuminated exponentially. My whole art field went, "Bah," and this light just flew from me. It's like, this is good. This is good. In any other time, being tired, and as we know, I tend to whine, as we discovered last week. Being tired, I might have said, "What do you mean? What do you mean? What the heck do you think?" But I didn't. And my art field grew. And I remember, I'll never forget it. It was amazingly beautiful. Because there was my brother, who I love, being tired. And it was so awesome. I don't even know if you remember it. It was just awesome. No one has power to make me do what they want. I choose to do what I want. I choose to cooperate. I choose to be one with. I choose to help. I choose to work with. Do you see? I choose not to judge if someone's tired. In that moment, I lived it to what was real. Love is real. The rest is an illusion. This is a funny, funny little space. And it's an illusion. Do you like my story? Yes. Okay. In Life and Teachings of the Masters of Far East, we are studying Book 5. And it's so beautiful. It's this Life and Teachings of the Masters of the Far East is a series that was written it was about a journey in the 1800s, 1890s. And the series was actually written into the 1930s. But Baird Spalding was a gentleman who walked with the Masters in India. And he actually witnessed the Masters walk across water on numerous occasions. And Baird is doing a lecture, and he says in Book 5, there was several hundred people on the shore as the Masters walked across. And only a few people went with them. And they didn't say, "Oh, who wants to go?" They just said, "Let's go." And several people walked across with him on the water that had never walked before. Just regular people. And Baird says in his lecture, he said it took just as much energy to resist walking across that water as it would have taken to walk across the water. Just as much energy. And I wondered, how much energy do we use in resistance every day? Because we've judged this or judged that, and we're resisting this or resisting that. All of that energy that we hold in our preconceived position of how things need to be, which is a judgment. Preconceived position is a judgment. Instead of just saying, whatever. Let me try something new. Let me release that energy so I can invest it in me instead of all the people I carry, instead of all the things I don't like, instead of everything that I judge. Let me release that energy and invest it in me. Do you think you could walk across the water? If the Masters were right there walking across the water, would you say, I'm with you? This side's doing better than this side. It made me wonder, when you come home exhausted every day, or any day you come home exhausted, how much of that exhaustion comes from exertion and how much comes from resistance? How much comes from judgment? How much comes from holding energy steady where it was instead of flowing? Something to think about, isn't it? Do y'all deal with exhaustion when you come home? Yeah. How much of my day was in flow and I feel really good about what I did, but I'm exhausted, or I'm exhausted and this is terrible and blah, blah, blah. When you feel that way, likely you're carrying those judgments with you. You're carrying those people, you're carrying that energy. Now, as we start releasing our judgment against other people, we need to realize that you can't just throw them away. You can't just go, oh, I was judging you, I'm not going to judge you anymore. What changed? Nothing. Your judgment is now, I'm not going to judge you. But they're still not free. When you free people, you see them and you say, you know what? You are God's child. You and I may not have understood life the same way, and we may not be harmony. But at the highest level, you're going to greet me, and I'm going to greet you as God's child. I don't want to play anymore. I free you from whatever I thought about you to go and do what you need to do, and I free myself. And when you do that, the energy just goes in you. And you do this all the time. Metaphysically, we do it all the time. We forgive all the time, don't we? You have spent however many years you are old, that many years judging. So do you think there's more and more and more that needs to be released? Yes. And who is it that we ultimately judge? Ourselves. Anytime you're judging someone for anything, there's a judgment idea. The same thing you're judging them for, you have an opinion of in you. You're judging them because they're too loud. Oh, they're so loud and boisterous. Well, maybe you want to be loud and boisterous too, and you won't let yourself. If you judge someone for being too successful, maybe you're withholding success from yourself. Do you see? There's always some connection. And the minute you free them, you're freeing that perception about you. And the energy comes back, and you can stand wherever you are, and your art field can go, whoa, and you can look amazing. The entire Jewish faith, when Jesus came, was based on judgment. They had rules they had to comply with, and if they didn't do this, they weren't forgiven. And if you're not forgiven, you're not in good status with God, and you're just really not up to par. We don't do that to ourselves any longer, religious-wise, do we? Metaphysically, we don't. But does society do it to you? Do you let people do it to you? You don't do this, you're not good enough. If you don't do that, you're not good enough. You're substandard, you're not up to par. Claiming that divinity, claiming I am love, you do not even have to know anything more than there is only love, and I'm a part of that. The rest is an illusion. If you can just know that, there's only love and I am a part of that love, everything else can melt away from you. It can all melt away. And are we not here to create heaven on earth? Don't we want to get our assets moving for us? So as we pull this energy, and our morning prayer becomes, use me as a channel, bless me, God, let me prosper, let me be dynamic, let me be loud and glorious. Whatever your prayer is, you've now got energy to make it happen. Welcome to the School of the Christ. Let's go within. God, we love you so much. I ask that a beautiful, beautiful love blanket just engulf all of us. And I ask that within that blanket, inner columns of light just engulf each one of us. And I would invite you to feel the love of God, feel that beautiful presence of Jesus the Christ, and see him coming to stand in front of you. Give him a hand. Give him your hand. Look in his eyes. And just hear him say, forgive. Forgive. And feel the energy of that word coming through you. Forgive. And you may be aware instantly of people that are held in your energy field or situations. judgment areas. And for this moment, just let one thing come to mind. We don't have to do it all at one time. Just let one situation or person come to mind. Forgive. I will give forth love. Let your heart open and let love move to whatever has revealed itself to you. I honor the divine light in you. I know you are my brother, my sister. Or if it's a situation, I know God's love is here somewhere. Ask to see the love of God. And speak to whatever is in front of you. You do not have to be perfect for me. You are perfect in God's heart. And I free you now. Feel your love moving, and just feel the angels lifting the situation or person out of your consciousness. And feel the beautiful energy of love and all of the essence of who you are that has been freed coming back into your heart. I am free now. And feel that beautiful presence of Jesus the Christ, who's loving you. Father, Mother God, we ask to know heaven on earth. We ask to know who we are. And we thank you that the Spirit of your love guides us in this journey. And we are ready. And just breathe and gently let your awareness come back to the chair. I am ready to forgive. I thank you, God. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Good job. Some of you may have more work to do. Some of you now will know. I need to do this every morning. I can do this while someone in human form is right in front of me. I can do this the minute I'm aware. And then watch and feel how much energy comes back into